Hi guys, it's Grace from Grace Gets Gastric. Today is Tuesday, June 26th, and I am here with my week 25 post-op VSG update. So to start, again, my name is Grace. I'm 5'8", 27 years old, and on January 2nd, 2018, I had the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, or a VSG weight loss surgery. My high weight in May of 2017 was 354 pounds. I was required by my insurance to do a 6-month medically supervised weight loss diet, and over the course of that diet, I lost 35 pounds, so my starting weight day of surgery was 319 pounds. Last week, I came at you with a weight of 240.9, and this morning I weighed in at 237.7. So, that is a weekly loss of 3.2 pounds, a loss since surgery of 81.3 pounds, and a loss since my highest weight of 116.3 pounds. So, really great loss this week. Sorry, my throat is a little dry. Peach Crystal Light has been my favorite drink since I was a kid. So, sidebar. Anyways, 3.2 pounds in a week is amazing. I think it's probably my best, I think it's like my best loss in like 4 or 5 weeks. Really happy about it. I was definitely surprised by that loss. As with the past few weeks, it has been my weight has been pretty steady. I've mentioned before, I am a daily weigher, so I think yesterday my weight was like 239, and that was the first day I had dropped into the 230s. And then 237 this morning, which is awesome. Especially, so again, I said my weight has been pretty steady since last week, and I started my period yesterday, so I kind of thought there goes my hopes for a loss. And then I also had a higher in carb day and a slightly higher calorie day than I normally do yesterday. My period hit, the cravings hit, cramps hit. I was powerless to resist. So I ate an entire bag of those Bomba peanut snacks. The ones that I've specifically mentioned that I don't buy because I can't control myself around them. I walked by the Trader Joe's on the way to my car and walked in there and bought them and was like, I know I'm gonna eat these today. And I did, and it wasn't ideal, but I didn't go crazy over. I was definitely over my calories and over my carbs for the day, because those do have they're a little higher in carbs, but not the worst thing I could have binged on. And yeah, instead of having the snack I had planned, I had that, and then had it again for dessert, and it worked out. So far today has been good and on track, so that is a positive. I have been craving peanut butter and jelly for like 3 weeks. And I know it's because I tried these like little peanut butter and jelly snacks that my roommate has, and they're like carbs, they're like little snacks, but I had like a couple of them, so it wasn't like significant, but they tasted, so I had them because I expected them to not be good, and then I was like, then I won't like see them every time I go in the kitchen and be curious. So I do that sometimes. I'm like, I'll just try this so I know it's not good and I don't have to wonder. But it tasted like a toasted peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It was so good. And it's all I can do to think. Like, I've just been thinking about them and wanting peanut butter and jelly. And I told my roommate, she's like, why didn't you tell me? I would have bought you some more. And I was like, that is why I didn't tell you. Don't buy me those. But yeah, so I got the Bomba peanut snacks, and that did seem to kind of satisfy that craving at least. But yeah, happy with the loss. So let's see some updates, and I'm a little all over the place today. I have a dentist appointment later today, unexpectedly, so I was going to have one next week, and then I couldn't make it, so I tried to reschedule, but my dentist was actually closed for like 2 months, and so they are really booked up, and they're like, well, we can't get you in for another 2 months. So they called me this morning. They're like, we have a cancellation if you want it today. And I was like, yes. But it's amazing how having just like that little alteration like totally throws my whole day off, and I just feel very scattered now. Anyways, some other updates. I think, so I've mentioned before that I've been experimenting with the 12-hour fast, and I think that I am no longer going to be doing that. I often have close to a 12-hour fast anyways, but I was cutting off at 8 and starting again at 8, and I was doing that specifically to help curb my late night snacking with the hopes that like a firm cutoff point would be a little bit easier in my head to be like, no, we're not eating right now. And that kind of worked, but I mean, my brain's a tricky bitch, so she's like, that's a self-imposed rule. We don't have to follow that. So it wasn't quite as effective as I would have liked, but the real reason is that I found it was actually imposing that fasting window was kind of actually forcing me to eat more when I wasn't hungry, because I knew I wouldn't be able to eat again, and I was like, well, you have that snack in your macros for the day, and you're not gonna be able to eat it if you don't eat it in the next 10 minutes. So I would eat it because I would want to eat it, instead of being like, you don't need that. If you want to still eat it in an hour and a half, then you can. And so I tried doing that a few days, and I ended up actually eating less calories overall because I skipped that snack, and then I ended up eating something smaller instead of what I had in my macros for the day, because I wanted a little bit of something when those munchies came, but I wasn't super hungry, so I didn't need the big thing I had planned. So anyways, I realized it was leading me to kind of to want to eat more, because I was afraid of missing out on those calories, because I like to eat, and I was like, you don't want to miss out. So I'm no longer doing like the strict fast rule anymore. I'm trying to kind of generally stick to that, but doing what works for me. Another thing that I'm really trying to work on is, I don't know, it's like portion creep, maybe is the term. I am pretty religious about weighing everything that I eat, measuring everything, but what I pretty consistently do is I'll weigh out like 3 ounces, a 1 ounce portion or 4 ounces of my dinner, and after I measure it, like I always need to have like one more or one bite more. So like, for example, I had this chicken Alfredo lentil pasta dish that I was eating last week. So I'd like measure out my like 3.5 ounces, and then I would put it in the microwave, and then before, as I was putting like the main one away, I'd always like sneak like a bite of chicken, which is not like, it's a very small amount. Or like, I'll be measuring out 1 ounce of enlightened bean crisps, and I'll always like measure out the 28 grams and then like eat an extra one from the bag. And I do this pretty consistently, and I know that it's not good, and like that adds up, but I don't know how to like, it's like my brain is being like thinks we're cheating the system almost, it's like, well, we're not going to track however much that one bean crisp was. So it's like, that's like a free bean crisp. And I know it's not free. I know that it's in my body and I'm metabolizing that and it counts, but I don't know how to like stop myself from always just wanting a little bit more. And the thing is, it's like, I can't eat very much. So like, if I do that too, like it gets to a point where it's stupid. Like I'm measuring out, especially like for my meals, like I'm measuring out how much I can consume. Like I can't comfortably eat more than that. So like, why do I feel like I need more? And it's a fucked up mental thing. I don't know. I probably should talk about that with my therapist this week. That's just something I wanted to mention that is very much a thing. Yeah. Other thing I mentioned was that I'm going to my dad's next week. So I mentioned my dentist appointment. The reason I can't go next week is because I'm now driving to my dad's. On Monday morning, I have my 6-month post-op appointments, and it's actually exactly on my 6-month surgery. So that's kind of cool. I'll have lots to update you guys on in that video. And then after that, I'm driving to my dad's, and I'll be there for all of Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I'll leave Thursday. So you'll see probably both my 6-month video and next week's update will be at my dad's house, so the new location. And they hadn't seen me since February, when I was like 40 pounds heavier. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. last time I was there, eating went fine. I don't have as many issues with food. Well, I have a lot of issues related to my weight with them and stuff, but I've mostly gotten over them. They are not as big of like food pushers as my mom is, so I'm not super concerned about it, but there is going to be some unhealthy things. I think I'll probably end up going over on calories, to be honest, just because I know that we're going to have like a lot of fatty meats, like prime rib, and my dad's going to make his cream cheese smoked salmon dip with his home, like fresh caught home smoked salmon. That is amazing. And honestly, like I plan on just eating like a lot of meat because my dad is a great cook, but it's like going to be like red meat, so it's going to be higher in calories, and I'm fine with that. But yeah, it'll be nice to be there. And then I got my cruise coming up, which I mentioned, and then my roommate and I finalized we kind of do like a yearly roommate trip, which is usually a road trip, but being in the very most Pacific Northwest corner of the states, it's hard to do road trips anywhere, just because like there are a lot of big states over here, and so you can't get very far in like a short period of time. So we decided to actually go to Austin. So over Labor Day, we're going to fly out to Austin because neither of us have been, and I've never been to Texas at all. So I'm actually really excited about that. So we've been planning that trip, and that will be another fun one to figure out post-weight loss surgery. Lots of barbecue that I'm excited about, and like KetoCon was just there. And so like, you know, and I saw a lot of people like eating good food there, keto food, which is, you know, very similar to how I eat, slightly higher fat, slightly lower carb, but very, very similar. So yeah, I'm excited about those trips. And then I just wanted to touch upon, and then I think that's the last thing, is I've definitely been dealing with some body stuff, I guess. One thing that I've been thinking about a lot lately is, like, I guess I thought that I would feel more different being this weight and size than I do. Like, I definitely, when I'm standing and clothed, I can see a difference in my body for sure. I can definitely feel it in like my ability to walk faster than I used to. I can cross my legs. I can do stretches that I never could before due to my my stomach, etc. So like I definitely can feel those kinds of things. But I guess I just thought that like the amount of space that I physically occupy is now smaller, and it doesn't feel different. You know, I remember being big. I've been big my whole life, and you know, I would sit in the bus. Right? Like I would sit on the bus and I would be too big for the seat. I would be spilling over. My shoulders would be bumping up against people, my arms, and I would just be like, I couldn't fathom. I would see small people and I could see that they were fitting in smaller spaces, and I couldn't fathom like how my body could do that. Like how could I be any smaller? I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but it just, maybe because I've always been overweight, like, or significantly overweight, like that was always my size. Like I was always occupying that amount of space, and it just felt natural. And I think I thought that no longer occupying that same amount of space would feel different. Like I thought being able to sit in like a chair and not have the arms dig into my thighs, like I can see that is a thing I can do now that I couldn't do before in some chairs. And I just like, I look down and it doesn't feel different. Like I don't know how to explain it. I guess I just really thought I thought I would feel smaller than I feel. You know, like I still feel, I mean, and I am, right? Like I'm 80 pounds overweight. I still have 80 extra pounds on me. And I rarely see it. Sometimes I'm like, only 80? Really? It feels like a lot more. Like just my stomach alone, I was like holding it. I'm like, this feels like a lot more than. Anyways, I don't know. The body stuff is definitely a thing. I think I'm going to talk about it more in my month 6 update, just because it's like an ongoing mental struggle. But I don't know. It's definitely like I can see like my shoulders are so much narrower, and it's still like that just still feels weird to me, and I don't feel don't know. I guess I thought it would feel more significant, or like there would be a bigger change. I don't know why I thought that. Like beyond just like I do feel better able to do certain physical activities. I think I just thought occupying less space would physically feel different. Like, I don't know, like the weight of gravity upon my mass being less would be, you know, I don't know what I was thinking. It's definitely weird. But that's that. Yeah, I've already talked for 15 minutes and I think I'm good. So, I hope you guys have wonderful days. As always, thank you for being here with me and liking and commenting and subscribing, of course. Bye, guys.